It would be remiss of me not to publicly state the tourism industry's appreciation for the budget that came out last night. We got a lot more than we expected, and on behalf of the industry, thank you for listening to the consultations, thank you for reading through our submissions and taking up some of our challenges. We know that it's only part of the very long road ahead to getting borders open and people back here. And we know we've still got a lot of heavy lifting to do. I can promise you as part of that heavy lifting that we're going to look at that $12 beer that you keep reminding me about. I'm sitting here next to Mike, so we're going to work out some networking and see what we can do about that. But on behalf of the tourism industry, thank you.
We have just talking about that also, you would have seen, and I forget the exact phraseology, but you know, the Fiji, the package rebate we put in place is $60 million. Now that essentially is, we are saying for the 150,000 tourists that come under this package, which would be a package that Fiji Airways would work with different operators, and operators are all welcome to join this package, where they must give at least, at that point in time before the duty reduction, at least 45% discount. And if they're part of the package, then government will actually subsidize up to $400 a tourist that's split between Fiji Airways and the actual hotel property. This essentially will mean is that Fiji Airways can go out together with the hotel, market this particular package. You pay now, you can travel later. So for example, one of these hotels that usually may cost this, I'm just pulling out a figure from the air, usually costs $1,000. Now if it's going to cost $500 and that person has already stayed at that hotel, they're sitting in the Sydney home going, wow, this is great. I want to go there because I'm getting a fantastic rate. The deal is you pay now, you can travel later, anytime. The moment they do that, Fiji Airways gets cashed up because they have to pay now, so does the hotel. And I know many of the hotels, for example, the hotels have been empty, but they have to pay the insurance premium. They need to maintain the insurance. So this is how we looked at it. So that $60 million package is specifically for that. From our perspective, broader perspective, we are also helping our national carrier. We are also helping the tourist dollars to come in through quickly. And I really hope that it brings about a fundamental a change in thinking in the tourism sector in Fiji. And I've repeatedly said this. If you go to Mauritius, most of the hotels in Mauritius include what you call an inclusive deal. I pay for my room rate, it includes the meals, it includes a certain amount of drinks. And talking to people in Mauritius in the short stay we had, I went there with the CEO of FJ about 2 years ago. Their numbers actually went through the roof because it became a more attractive destination. The psychology of it is very important. That if I come to a hotel, I've already paid up front for my room rate, I don't have to fork out every time I go and eat something or drink something. That's very important. I think Naviti is the only one that does it very successfully on the mainland. I mean, there are of course some of the upmarket resorts, maybe your Lodalas and Vomos, etc., but not your 4 or 5 stars, run-of-the-mill kind of resorts that the Aussies and Kiwis come to. And I really hope that, and this is one of the thinking that we've had, we are giving this $60 million initiative or incentive to bring about a cultural change in the way that hotels look at their markets, look at their pricing. Because believe you me, you can't go back to the normal way of doing things. You can't. And generally you also have to understand that even countries like Australia that had 23 years of straight growth went into a negative growth within a matter of months. 600,000 Australians lost a job in a month. Now, what's the level of disposable income do they have? When nearly 70% of our arrivals come from Australia and New Zealand, what are the chances of all of those people that used to come back again? That's the new reality. That's what you have to understand. If they're going to, want to have a holiday, some of them may take 3 years to build up that, money supply in their home to take a holiday. And if suddenly Bali is going to offer them something ridiculous. I just spoke to somebody from UK today. He said Greece is offering airfares of $25. $25 to fly from UK. That's the, one may say, the new, maybe short to medium term norm. So I think everybody needs to wake up and look at, the realities of the new norm that exists. I just saw last year when somebody had asked me at FBC about funding, of course our deficit. The deficit is of course, fairly large compared to the previous years. We have this time around are borrowing more from offshore because we're getting some very good rates, and I have to thank organizations like the World Bank and people like last year have been working very much behind the scenes with us. We've had the Asian Investment Bank that's now going to lend to us for the first time. And one of the reasons why we're borrowing more from offshore, of course, is not to eat up all the money in Fiji, but also in risk because we offer very good rates, but also at the same time to be able to get more foreign money coming into the country so we can maintain our foreign reserves. Because that's generally what people look at in terms of the health of your country. So we've done a number of these sort of, different sort of approaches to debt and debt management and indeed sources of debt. One other thing I think that's very important for those of you in the business, in particular raising capital, now of course we can offer corporate bonds. Individual companies can offer corporate bonds that can be listed in the South Pacific Stock Exchange. And for you to be able to do that, there's 150% tax deduction. Any interest that's earned is tax exempt. So for your business, at the moment you want to raise capital, you have to go through your traditional banks. This is another opportunity for you to be able to raise money, to be able to offer corporate bonds. You have to, of course, follow the SPX rules, but another innovative way of getting money.